the Farmer's Dashboard is a tool where it's still not in its final form as it is now. Right now it's tailored to the work we do in Romy, where we collect the data from the CableBot and have like an overview of what's growing in the field, extract how individual plants are growing, how well they're growing. And in the longer term, it becomes part of a bigger farm management system where we'll combine it with the planning of what will be grown and when. And for these small farms, they do several harvests during the year. They have weekly vegetable baskets. So they need some planning upon what they will seed, when they will harvest some of the crops, what will be the composition of the vegetable baskets that they'll be selling. And using these statistics that we get, we can try to help them adapt or predict a little bit more the harvesting and what they'll be selling.
Now, this is not something that you're going to have on a laptop that you'll be walking around the farm with. It's something that you're more going to use for analytics at the end of the day. So if you think about a situation perhaps where you will be doing daily scans, say, on your crop, or weekly, depending on the size of the crop and how many rovers you've got and all that kind of stuff, you're going to be taking pictures of a whole bed, and then at the end of the day that information will get uploaded to a computer that will then run some analytics and some metrics on what you're growing. So you can have a little look at see where the areas, for example, of your crop are most productive, where they're least productive. Do you have an infestation? Do you have some kind of disease in your crop? Or is it just that it's very cold or something in that kind of that area and the crop's not responding as well as the rest of it? So once you start to put in place the scans and this information, you tie it back to the rover's dashboard. It's all presented in a really easy, kind of understandable presentation view where anybody without even technical skill is going to be able to have a look and say, there's a problem here.
So this parcel, each parcel has a number and a geo-reference which corresponds to the farmer's dashboard. And that means that we know both in space but also in a computer system what is planted where. This really helps when we're working in the field and we just want to know what's been done and what should be done, and then logging that back into the system. So just having a reference number allows us to be able to work in more detail.
It becomes also, I think, an interesting data for research. So this data of growth of plants combined with weather data and so on, we can share between farms. We can improve statistics, so we can have like a better idea of what varieties grows well in what sort of conditions and so on. It's still an open question because there's of course a lot of parameters, but trying to start from something very concrete, potentially optimizing the planning a bit. Over time, we may be able to get some ideas about what varieties are well adapted in what regions and so on, and fine-tune how long it takes between seeding and harvesting and so on. So I see the FarmBot evolve in that sense as a sort of farm management system that combines data from the field, like the data we get from the CableBot, that combines a planning that the farmer makes in the beginning of the year, and potentially some modeling about how plants grow using these statistics that we've collected over the years.
For the farmer's dashboard, we have plenty of pair of images where the images correspond to two close by position of the camera, of the CableBot. And we want to know what is the displacement of the camera between the two images, so that we can adjust the images to stitch them together. And we do this for many images, along the path of the cable bot. And you see here we can generate a map of the culture bed. And then we can generate many maps every day of the culture bed. And we can see the radishes and actually the weeds here grow along the week. And then we detect each of the plant and we match them along days, so that we can grow the growth curve of each plant and gather statistics about their growth. So you see here the curves with the statistics for the growth of plants. And we hope, as I said before, that this kind of information is useful for farmers to predict their harvest in the coming weeks, and also to design and manage their field.